So, what is a carbohydrate refeed and why are they becoming so popular? Within the evidence-based space, we understand the importance of glucose, specifically when you're trying to lose body fat, and that raises the question, how should you carbohydrate refeed, or how should you structure a carbohydrate refeed? So that's what we're going to bring to you guys today in this video, is exactly how to do it, why we do it, and then the methods that we utilize that allow us to be able to have continued fat loss over the duration of time. So, without further ado, let's get to the board. Alright guys, how to carbohydrate refeed. I'm going to keep this as short, as sweet, and straight to the point as I possibly can, because I know you guys don't want to waste your time sitting here wondering all about all the ins and outs and blah 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 blah. So, here we go. First and foremost, increase in CHO, carbohydrate, by 75 to 100%. Basically what you are trying to do when you are implementing a carbohydrate refeed is you are trying to fill the energy gap that you have established to put this person into a caloric deficit. So down here you see a 1-6 modality. This basically is having 1 high carb day with 6 low days. So we'll label that H, we'll label that L. And what you would essentially do within this 24-hour time period of this one day is you would increase carbohydrates by 100%. So as an example, if you were dieting this person down on, ideally, let's say you put them into like a 400, 500 calorie deficit, their low day carbohydrates were around like 150. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase carbohydrate by 75 to 100%, increasing carbohydrate from 150 gram probably up to 250 to 300 gram, okay? Now that's the way that you would operate it as far as having a 24-hour refeed goes, because all you're doing is you're increasing calories back to maintenance. You're not cheating. That's another video, we'll go into detail later on, but there's no purpose on going beyond what your maintenance level is at that specific moment in time. Now I will also say that a one-day carbohydrate refeed really doesn't serve any physiological or hormonal physiological or hormonal benefits outside of just having more glucose availability in your body. So how can more glucose availability be able to help you? It can give you more energy, it can give you more training endurance, it can give you a better pump in the gym. Physically, aesthetically, it can make you look a bit fuller. If you're a female, typically you'll notice your quads, your glutes, and your hamstrings are fuller. If you do have a fair amount of muscle tissue in your upper body, everything will just fill out. And when you start training, you will feel the pump. If you're lean enough, you'll get vascular, and it is a phenomenal feeling. However, this little measly 24-hour refeed really doesn't do much in regards to hormonal adaptation, which we're going to talk about next. So why do we utilize refeeds at all? And I think there's a big topic of discussion here. I think there's a big debate here going on, even within the evidence-based society. People are saying you don't need the carbohydrate refeed. People are saying you don't need 48-hour refeeds. You don't need diet breaks and all of that nonsense. However, I think every single thing has the application. And if you are an evidence-based practitioner, I would highly recommend you probably utilize some of these modalities in your training. If you don't, I don't believe you're giving your clients the best service, because a 24-hour refeed might work for a male client getting ready for a physique show, but understanding what we know about hormones, so on and so forth, a 48 or 72-hour refeed may potentially work better for a female because she has more hormonal regulations that males essentially don't. So these may be more productive for females. So again, keep in mind, everything's context dependent. Why we do this? Cutting straight to the chase, metabolic adaptation is going to be a big one. Training performance, and again, your visual appearance is going to be changed when you have these carbohydrate refeeds. And then the most popular methods, at least in my opinion, utilized within the evidence-based space, is going to be this 1-6. And anybody who works with me, you guys know that I just really don't ever use a 1-6, even though I know that some evidence-based coaches do that. I've never been one to utilize those because I do work predominantly with a lot of females, and I understand that with females specifically, we really have to play this balancing game of applied stress and proactive recovery. Applied stress being 6 days in a caloric deficit, proactive recovery being 1 day in a caloric deficit. I don't know about you, but if I put those two on a scale, they don't really weigh out that well. So I don't use a 24-hour refeed. 48-hour refeed, now we're talking. We're starting to get there, okay? 48-hour refeeds have been shown to be more beneficial over 24-hour refeeds, and based off of the literature that we have available, 48 hours eating at maintenance level has actually allowed some of the negative hormonal and metabolic adaptation to start to reverse, even though it doesn't fix it. It doesn't mitigate it for good. But what it does is it can help give you a little bump. It can also, from a adherence perspective, help give you something to actually look forward to in your diet. Now, when we're talking about things that I feel like can really work when it comes to like the general population and just heavier individuals or people who are already very lean, who need more time recovering in comparison to their time dieting, again, stress and recovery, 72-hour refeed specifically for females can be phenomenal tools. A lot of my female clients know it's very, very often that I actually recommend at least 3 days of refeeding, if not just saying, hey, let's just give it an entire week. Because I know that whatever they are losing, I know we can keep it off with proactive recovery, right? So this is a little bit about how to carbohydrate refeed. In a nutshell, I'm just going to give you guys a quick review. So increase carbohydrate intake by 75 to 100%. Why we're going to do this is to help some of the metabolic adaptation, increase training performance, and improve visual appearance. However, the reason why we do it is because chronic low-calorie dieting or chronic low-carbohydrate dieting will yield to metabolic adaptation faster than utilizing things like 3-day and 48-hour refeeds. Decreases in training performance and decreases in visual performance. So if you want to look flat as a pancake, never have any high carbohydrate days. But if you want to look nice, full, voluptuous muscle, I'd probably recommend you have some carbohydrate refeeds. And as far as the methods go, I'm going to be a bit biased, and I'm going to go with the latter here, the last two, the 2-5 approach and then the 3-7 approach I've seen work really, really well. For those of you who are interested in checking out my video on program design or a nutrition program design around a female's menstruation cycle, I'll go ahead and tag that video in the description down below. If you guys have any questions about any of this, just go ahead and leave me a comment down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. And again, for those of you who don't know, my name is William Grazione. I'm the owner of Metabolic Evolution Incorporated. We're bringing you guys the latest evidence-based nutrition and training advice to help you master your metabolism. See you in the next one.